We've been talking a lot about reinvention this season. Whether you've come to a crossroads and decide you have to make a change, or you've been spinning your wheels because you are bored, or perhaps there has been something that's no longer working for you and you feel like it's time to try something else. Today I want to talk about a tool that I use with clients and the value it brings. I believe one of the most powerful things we can do to increase our self-awareness is to know who we really are. Taking a page back from episode 28, the episode called What You Do Is Not Who You Are. It's not your job title or your expertise. It's not any awards that you have. It's peeling back the layers to see underneath to recover the original version of you. I tend to operate from a place that reflects my approach. I'm not one to put a Band-Aid on something only to go back later and fix what should have been done right from the beginning. Why use a temporary fix when we get to the root of the pain? This plays out in how I look at personal branding. My belief in developing a personal brand of integrity is one that goes beyond what most people think. It's not crafting the image you want people to believe about you. It's not hiding away and pretending you are someone you think you should be. It's getting to know the facets of who is the real you. A personal brand of integrity means understanding the wholeness of you. It's unpacking the stories you tell the world. It's understanding the stories you tell yourself that are not always grounded in reality. It's uncovering the stories buried inside of your soul to begin to identify who you were all along. Only then can you understand the expansiveness of all you can be and have a better idea to know where you're going. I use all of these in The Difference Is You. It's my one-on-one program for people who are ready to up-level to the next version of who they're going to be and to stand out in the marketplace. Phase 1 of this program is called Discover, and one of the tools I use is a system called Human Design. Today, I want to share why I use it and the information you can get as a result. The name Human Design gets thrown around a lot. It's not an assessment, but often gets lumped into one. It doesn't tell you how you are seen at work or your behaviors and how you think. It's not about your worldview or measuring how you act when you're under pressure. In fact, it's not an assessment at all. There is no test to take, no opinion to give that may change based on how you're feeling the day that you take it. And your chart is not going to change in 10 years based on your experiences. Human design is getting more and more attention. As a matter of fact, the Washington Post said for 2023, the Enneagram is out and human design is in. It's a combination of ancient wisdom and modern science. It drills down to who you are at your core. You could say it's your energetic blueprint. It's not who you should be. It's who you were designed to be. And it gets back to that story buried inside of your soul that I talk about so much. We come into this world as a beautiful young child, and then we're told to be ourselves, but not that way. And this is the beginning of the conditioning we encounter throughout our entire lives. And once we get to the point decades later where we decide we've had enough, we go through doing the work to unravel it. Think of all the time and energy we waste on being someone we are not. Human design allows us the chance to let go of what isn't correct for us. The best way to explain human design is your guidebook for life. And there are more than 2 billion possibilities that can come together for human design. You note that I referenced it as an energetic blueprint. So let me give you an example of what I talk about when I mention energy. Think about when you meet someone you connect with. You might say something like, "Oh, I really like her energy." Or if there's someone that comes across wrong, you might have talked about their energy felt off, or something didn't feel right when you were talking to them. You may have said they had negative energy. And this is what I'm talking about. When our energy comes in from our body, how it impacts others can send out signals to others, either consciously or unconsciously. It can help us understand how we were created. And once we understand, it can help us live a life with self-acceptance and to get the clarity about what we're here to do. Your human design chart can reveal things like who you feel you are, how others experience you. It highlights your personality, which is what you know about yourself, versus your design, which is often what other things people see about you first. It can identify what gets in your way, how to empower yourself. It identifies some of your fears and shadows, your superpowers, your purpose, and yes, even your personal brand. It also gives you information about ideal environments for you, how you take in information, who you should be working with as clients, and how to set up your marketing that feels good and aligns with you. Why I love it so much is it allows you to understand how to build the business around you rather than following this is the only way gurus of hustle and grind. But I do want to address a couple of misconceptions. There isn't a test, no questions to answer. All you need to know is the date, exact time, and place of birth. The reason being there's a calculation that's based on the science of what was going on in the atmosphere at the time of your birth. This is why some people believe it might be astrology, but it is not. Astrology is predictive. This is already set in stone or set and it doesn't change. The science it is based on is called quantum physics, and there's something called neutrinos, which were recognized in 2015 at the Nobel Peace Prize for Physics as subatomic particles, the smallest bit of mass that fly off the sun and the stars and float through our atmosphere. Other misconceptions include that whatever your chart says, this is the blueprint of how you have to live. It's not. It's not the truth. You have a choice. It's also not your set in stone destiny. Again, we have free will. But most people, if they've heard of human design, usually know one of the 5 types. And the 5 types are generator, manifesting generators, manifestors, projectors, and reflectors. They each have a different way to operate to find things that go easy for them. And then we have strategy, which pull you how you feel on how you are guided to operate, and also to recognize when we are out of alignment. For me, I'm a generator, and my strategy is to wait to respond. Now, that doesn't mean I have to wait to do anything. It means I put myself in situations where I have something to respond to. Showing up on social media and then people reaching out to contact me. Putting myself in networking situations to talk to people. And when I have conversations, it tends to be people reaching back out to me. Once I did this, everything started to change in my business. Then we have your authority. This is your voice of your internal guided system that tells your heart and soul what is correct for you. It's how you make decisions. I am what is called an emotional authority, like 55% of the population. I do better when I get to ride my emotional wave through a major decision. Now, some people, when faced with a big decision, will know immediately, but not me. I get excited about it, and then as time passes, maybe 24 to 48 hours, it becomes clear on what my gut is telling me to do. Then we have your profile. These are 2 indicators that are themes of how you interact with the world. My profile is called a 3-5. So my personality side, I tend to experiment, which is why I like to get to the root of things if I can. I'm not afraid to try something to see if it works. And then my design is I am a disruptor. I see things the way they are, I break them down and build them back better. So the things you can learn inside your human design chart go really deep. I mentioned being able to build your business based on who you are versus the business in a box plan that most people use. And I'm in the midst of a 2-year training to get certified on this. You can determine the areas of where you're sending out consistent and inconsistent energy and what you're pulling off from other people. Then we have your zone of genius, your superpowers, your gifts, your talents, your fears, your challenges, and how you can attract the right people. For someone absolutely new to human design, I suggest you first download your chart. And you can get a copy off of it on my website, lisamcguire.com. Go to the page that says Get Your Free Chart. Once you know your type, look at your strategy. It tells how to navigate the world and your authority on how you make decisions. So how does human design impact us in daily life decisions and relationships? Well, before the age of 7, our brains were in theta state. We were taking in information on how can we be loved. And we worked it out in our mind what we needed to do to be safe. And as a result, this is the conditioning that we developed. But by the time we turned age 7, it turns into what we refer to as ego. So here's a note to consider. The energy flows in your body and how you make decisions doesn't come from your head. You have to be careful about your mind. It stops us from thinking that we don't have enough. Your ego is created to keep you safe. It tells you where you are now is not good enough. Since you're fine, you're still alive. And when you look at your human design body graph, you'll see that nearly 70% of the population can be impacted by the negative conditioning by the lack of self-worth. It's a huge swath of the population that makes decisions on that, chasing their worth, chasing opportunities on what their mind thinks will give them their worth and an opportunity to prove themselves to others. Finally, I want to talk about how I've used human design in working with clients. Many people don't know what direction to go with their personal branding because they're listening to their ego, telling them they aren't enough. And I use human design as one of the tools to help increase that self-awareness of things they're already there, but they no longer see. From that, we create your personal brand of integrity. We can also create messaging that feels right to you. It can help you know the right people to work with based on who your energy attracts. You understand how business development will work best for you, how to recognize when you're off track and knowing the best way to navigate that. It's one of the most catalyzing things you can learn about yourself, and it affirms who you were created to be. We're entering in a time when we're coming together as a community. Consciousness is expanding. There's more emphasis on freedom, collaboration, and connection with like-minded individuals. The self-awareness that human design brings validates what you have buried away, but told yourself you could no longer feel. One of the benefits is you're capable of so much more, but there's a gap from where you are now to where you want to be. We talk about looking for answers. We read books and listen to podcasts and hire coaches. But what's different is the answers we're looking for can be found inside of us. That is, if we only know where we're supposed to look. So I invite you to download your human design body graph off the website. Start learning about your basic information, your type, your strategy, and your authority. And if you're ready, I do offer a chart analysis one-on-one independently. Or if you're working on your business, you want to know how to design that, I also do that too. Each one of us is different, but if you listen to the gurus, there is only one way to do business or navigate life. That's why we run into walls and face hurdles. We're trying to be someone we're not. So if you're interested in learning more about your human design, I've got several offers you can learn about how your energy is created in your body. There's a foundational 90-minute reading where we get the basics of how you were designed. We go on to another session if you're interested more in marketing that builds upon that. 2 sessions, how you can define the right type of clients for you and understand how to create your offers. And then finally, Business by Human Design is a jump-off point for marketing coaching to help you understand how to create the business around you. If you're looking for a group program, I also offer a human design workshop. So if you and your colleagues are interested in learning more. Success happens from failing over and over, but there comes a point where the value is by putting a stake in the ground and understanding what's under the hood. So thanks for joining me today. I trust you got what you needed. Go chase your passion. Take it as far as it goes. Lean into it, and then you'll discover that purpose that's waiting inside you. Show up as who you are, full of confidence in your personal brand of integrity. It's how you live a life of so much more on the way to your legendary self.